Good day everybody, how's it going? I'm the Meister and welcome back to Timbukton in episode 49 of the series. In today's episode we are going to be continuing on the airport build, but today we're going to be developing the parking terminal area of the airport. So it'll be a pretty interesting and fun episode. Lots of new stuff going on that I haven't covered in the series yet, so I think you guys will enjoy it. So at this point in time, I'd say the airport is probably about halfway done. A lot of what's left is a lot of like little detail work and more minute stuff. So after this episode, all the main infrastructure of the airport will pretty much be in place. Next episode, we're still going to be in the airport stuff, and I think I'm going to get into a general aviation ramp somewhere along one of the two runways, but we'll also build a cargo area a little later on, and eventually we'll have to get into all the little props like taxiway signs, all the runway markings, all that kind of stuff. So I predict another like 3, maybe 4 episodes of the airport series before moving on to somewhere else in the city. So plenty of more content to come. So for this terminal build, it's not going to be too complicated. I'm just going to make an arrivals and departures area and lots of parking, both parking garages and, you know, some just regular long-term parking a little farther out from the terminal. So all that is going to be included in this airport. It's not going to be like a super grand and complicated airport like JFK or O'Hare or something like that. It'll be relatively small and not too complicated, but nonetheless, I mean, even building a small airport in City Skylines is quite a task. So of course we have to start with our infrastructure, so that means like roads, parking lots, all that kind of stuff. So that's what we're going to start with for the first, I'd say, half of the episode. That's what we're going to focus on, perfecting that, and then we'll get on to the little details and stuff. So in this episode, I do go a little bit more detail heavy than I normally would, just because it's a point of interest I find in Timbukton, and I just wanted it to be, well represented, I suppose. So plenty of little details and stuff here. now, I'm going to start getting into the drop-off, or no, what would this be? Yeah, this would be the arrivals area of the airport. So this is going to be a major bus hub, bus/taxi pickup zone. So in between these two one-way roads right here is going to be like a main bus terminal shelter kind of thing. And right now I'm just organizing my props and stuff because I'm going to copy this little bench setup throughout the whole bus terminal. So this is going to be a pretty busy spot. I really like the way that this turns out in the end. Like I said, I don't usually go pretty detail heavy like this, but when I do, I usually try to get it right. And you know, in my opinion anyways, I think this area looks really neat. And you'll see a little later in the episode, I'm going to get into some like road lines and stuff. So I'm going to make bus and taxi dedicated areas. So once this area is operational and it's working and everything, and it actually has bus lines going through it, that will be pretty cool, because I think this area is going to be bustling with people and cars and buses and the whole works. One thing to note too, somebody commented on my last airport video wondering if the airport was functional, and right now it kind of isn't, because it doesn't have any power or water or any like essential services, but the airport will be functional once we have those important utilities hooked up. So I did plop down a terminal piece that is functional. So that is like our main part of the airport, like the main terminal, the only part of the airport that's truly functional. So that was necessary to place down, you know, just so we have some traffic coming in and out of the city. I didn't want to have a huge airport and just, you know, have it sitting there non-functional and you know, just a big showpiece. I really wanted it to be part of the city and, you know, bring in some extra traffic and you know, get some aviation into Timbukton, because right now we don't have any. We have one little small airport that we built like 20 some episodes ago, and that airport is not functional. That's like all props and whatever, but you'll see, guys, once we have this airport all done and all wrapped up, it'll be pretty interesting to see how this whole area sort of develops. So with that being said, guys, if you guys have any ideas on what I should include in the airport, let me know. It can be as far as like some sort of medical rescue station or something, you know, for search and rescue crews. That was actually in my initial plans. That's just an example. And, you know, like I said, next episode we're probably going to get into a general aviation little flight club kind of thing. So that'll be pretty fun. But let me know, guys, you know, if I feel like that would be a great addition to the airport, I will build it. And, you know, it'd just be cool to get some input from you guys. Because right now there's no development around the airport yet, and it's a perfect time to add on as much as we want to the airport, because I do have plans on what's going to be around the airport. So there's going to be like a pretty big industrial complex, lots of distribution centers and warehouses and things like that. And eventually we're going to have to get into like the city's suburbs. And I mean like far out into the suburbs, so lots of little country roads all over the place and little streets and what have you. So that'll take up a lot of space around the airport. So for now, if we can sort of build out the airport as much as possible, and then we can work our way around it once the airport's complete, that would be perfect. During the creation of this episode, I learned a lot about some mods that I'd never considered using before, and one of those is the procedural objects mod that you'll see me use a little later in this episode, so that is really interesting. I was deathly afraid of that mod for the longest time. I did not have any interest of using it. It was far too complicated and I never saw any use for it. But as soon as I heard that it's very useful for creating custom signs, such as road signs or any sign you can really think of, because that mod allows you to add text to a particular background or texture, and that's when it struck me, I have to download that mod and create custom signs for the entire region eventually. So you'll see by the end of this episode what I have created with the procedural objects mod. It's really nothing fancy. I did not use the mod to its full extent by any means. But in the future, I might adventure myself into some bigger projects using that mod, but I'm not sure. But for now, I think I'm just going to keep its use to making custom signs. So my plan, this might sound pretty ambitious, but I want to create custom road signs for the entire map of Timbukton. Well, not like the entire region, but I'm just going to focus on highways. So all the main highways throughout the region, I want to create some custom road signs so everything makes sense. For example, like some exit might be onto, towards Timbukton or whatever. Just I'm generalizing here, but I just want to create custom road signs that fit exactly where everything is throughout the region. But that's going to be a pretty daunting task, and it's probably going to take quite some time to complete. So I'll probably just do it a little bit at a time and eventually finish up. Or, I'll just do like I usually do. Every time I make some road videos, so like some first-person driving videos in Timbukton, I usually try to make sure that all of the roads that I'm going to be driving past are all nice and neat and there's no like weird texture glitches and stuff like that. So, I might just focus on some road videos and as I make them, create the custom road signs for those roads. But we'll see. I don't know. It's just a fun project that I thought I would jump into just because I was having so much fun creating these road signs for Timbukton Airport. But yeah. But I'm loving the look of this. I'm liking how everything is developing. I have no complaints. Usually I'll look back on some of my builds and I'll be like, it's all right, but I could have done this better. But Timbukton Airport is like, I don't know, I just hit a sweet spot with that. It turned out really, really great. I'm super happy with the way this little terminal area came out anyway. I'm sort of focusing a lot of details in this particular spot of the airport, and the rest of it not so much, but I guess your attention will be drawn to that part of the airport. That's like the most important part of it. So one problem I had with this airport, well, it's not really a problem per se. I'd say it's more of a fact, like it's just an event. I had like so much land to play around with here that this area that I'm working on right now felt kind of empty. So I thought maybe just fill this empty land in with a little office park or something like that. I don't know, like some office buildings that are somehow airport related or airline related. I don't know, just something like a filler for this area right here. So just some generic office buildings. Nothing too complicated, but I think it adds to this whole build here. You know, some administrative offices maybe for the airport, where management and all that would reside. And this again is just based on looking at a lot of satellite imagery of various airports in my region, and in most cases airports are sort of on the outskirts of cities, and you know that's where you'll always find these sort of office parks, just random office buildings with huge parking lots in the middle of suburbs. So I thought Timbukton should be no different. But one thing I'm going to do here in just a second, guys, is I'm going to play around with the ploppable asphalt mod, or the ploppable pavement. I forget, I think it's asphalt, I don't know. But anyways, it's not a mod that I've particularly used a ton in the past. I don't know, it's just never really been a priority up until now. So the results that you can get from using this mod are really great. So take this little exit interchange here, for example. You can really clean up all those vanilla sidewalk or crosswalk textures and all that kind of stuff, and it really changes your area, makes it look nice and clean. So, you know, after playing around with that mod and really liking it, I think I'm going to use it a lot more, especially in points of interest of town. So like big interchanges and stuff, where big interchanges and places like that, I'm probably going to use that mod just to create some nice clean interchanges. But yeah. Okay, so now we're going to get into the procedural objects mod. So look at what I'm going to do right here. So check out what I'm going to do right here. So I downloaded these signs from the workshop. It's like an airport sign collection. They come with these little airplane logos on them, and you know, some represent arrivals and departures, so that was pretty cool. But this is my first time ever playing with the procedural objects mod. It was kind of tricky to get it to work at first because I just wasn't familiar with the UI or anything like that. But I got it working, and I'm actually super happy with the results. Like, they look clean. The textures have a really great resolution, so you can actually read what the sign says very clearly. But at this point, I'm pretty much going to go out through the entire airport, texture everything up, create all the signs. And what's awesome that I really can't get over is that all the signs make sense. So if an exit turns to the right and goes on to a particular street or whatever, you know, that sign just makes sense. It fits in Timbukton, or like, it just fits into the city. So that's something I'm really excited about implementing into town. Because once I do start making drive-it videos again, you can use those signs to sort of reference your location on the map. Saying, oh yeah, okay, that road goes there, or okay, that goes to Aberdeen or whatever. So I'm actually super excited to get back into doing that. But anyways, guys, we're pretty much nearing the end of this episode. I really apologize for my absence lately. As you guys know, I just bought a home, and I'm just learning that especially with owning a 1960s home, it's a lot of work. Yeah, a lot of repairs and a lot of updating and stuff to do. But that is soon to come to a close, and once I'm moved in and everything, I will be getting back to my usual schedule, and that should be sooner than later, hopefully, if everything goes to plan. But anyway, guys, just be patient with me on that, and we should be up and running pretty soon. So I thank you guys so much for watching this episode. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Also consider subscribing to the channel for much more content like this to come, including some first-person drive-it videos. So be excited for that, guys. That's coming up soon. But other than that, guys, that's it for me for today. Enjoy these awesome cinematics, and until the next episode, please take care.